Florence is one of the most amazing cities I've ever visited. It's rich in artistic treasures, but there's also much more to see and do, and I'm going to show you how to spend a fun time in this beautiful Tuscan city.
Buongiorno, and welcome to my perfect weekend in Florence.
And it starts with a typical Italian breakfast. That means cappuccino and pastries at the bar in the traditional Caffè Scudieri, next to Florence's famous cathedral. Florence is considered the cradle of the Renaissance, and it's famous for architecture and museums, which attract millions of tourists all year round. My tour starts at the main cathedral with Francesca Giordano as my guide.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for being my guide today.
Thank you very much for you.
Wow.
You can see that we don't have skyscrapers here in Florence. It's because it's forbidden to build taller buildings than the Duomo, which is the tallest building in the city center, 116 meters.
This is a lot to look at. So when tourists come here, what are the main things that they should know about the Duomo?
The Duomo, well, right now is like the 5th or 6th biggest church in the world. Is an amazing Gothic structure.
These golden doors on the Florence Baptistery were dubbed the Gates of Paradise by Michelangelo. They were created between 1425 and 1452 and depict scenes from the Old Testament. Instead of standing in long lines for the museums, Francesca takes me to well-known spots in the city center, including the Piazza della Signoria, which is filled with outdoor art. This is also where a replica of Michelangelo's David stands.
We have to remind that Florence is a Roman city. We're actually walking on part of the Roman rest of the city. Piazza della Signoria was built on that.
The statues here are filled with political connotations. They were erected when the Medicis ruled the city.
And this is my culture tip, a guided walking tour to discover Florence as an open-air museum.
Florence is not only known for its artistic treasures, but also for its leather goods. I visit the Scuola di Coio, a family-run leather school and business located in a former monastery. Students can sign up for workshops to learn the trade of leather craftsmanship. Beatrice Parigori's grandfather founded the school with Franciscan monks after World War II. The aim was to teach orphans a trade. Now, some 15 artisans are employed here and make all of the leather goods by hand.
Tell me how Florence became associated with leather goods.
So Florence has always been the main center of leather, probably because of the location, because we are across by the river, the Fiume Arno. So a lot of tannerings were actually here in Florence, and that's how this tradition starts.
I find some nice examples of this tradition that are hard to resist in the shop next to the school.
And this is my shopping tip in Florence. If you're looking for a nice souvenir, I recommend some original Florentine leather.
In the late afternoon, I decide to treat myself to something special, and the Grand Hotel Cavour has exactly what I'm looking for.
After a long day of sightseeing and walking, it's time for an aperitivo, and I recommend one at a terrace overlooking the beautiful Duomo. So, chin chin.
The hotel's terrace offers a bird's eye view of the cathedral and the Palazzo Vecchio. My second day in Florence begins with a challenge of sorts.
It's hard not to feel inspired in this city. Really ambitious tourists can take art or cooking classes, so I've decided to learn how to make a typical Florentine dish.
And this involves going to the Sant'Ambrogio market, where I meet my teacher, Cesarina Cecilia Bendinelli.
Hi, nice to meet you. You're going to teach me how to cook.
Yes, I do.
Tourists can book a private cooking class with her.
Perfect. Thank you. Let's go.
Cecilia first shows me what ingredients we'll need for a typical Florentine meal.
So tell me what we're going to cook today.
Today we cook crespelle alla Fiorentina. That is a typical Florentine dish.
Like a crepe.
Made with crepes, yes. Stuffed with ricotta and spinach.
I'm used to making restaurant reservations, but here I'm inspired to learn. After buying the necessary produce, we head to Cecilia's home. Once there, I put on an apron and things get started.
And then with a knife, we can...
Okay, I'll just take a seat while you do that. Well, that looks nice. No, okay, I'll do it too.
I'm quickly realizing what I've gotten myself into, but I'm still excited to learn something new.
And we stir for 16 minutes.
15 minutes?
Yes. Okay.
15 minutes seems more like a lifetime.
Otherwise it's impossible to cut and slice. Well,
Making the crepes involves a bit of wrist action, and after a few tries, I finally do get the hang of it.
Turn over. Oh!
Next, I fill the crepes with the spinach and ricotta mixture and prepare them for baking. The final touches are made before the whole dish goes into the oven for 30 minutes.
And this is my activity tip for a weekend in Florence, a private cooking class. Ta-da! Chin chin.
All we need now is some dessert.
I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream.
Gelateria Vivoli is a family-run business that has been something of an institution in Florence since 1939.
Can you tell me what makes Florentine ice cream some of the best in the world?
Gelato is born in Florence from this guy called Bernardo Montalenti. He was an architect during the Caterina de' Medici court in 15th century. So we try to continue the tradition of this frozen dessert.
Is there a gelato that is specific to Florence that you can only get here?
Yeah, it's called crema fiorentina. It's creme custard, and there are a few ingredients such as milk, whole milk, eggs, fresh eggs of course, and sugar. That's it. We can say, in my case, a special ingredient is coming from us. It's a secret. It's a special touch, anyway.
Great. All right. Well, I would like to try some of it.
Of course.
Is he going to have ice cream too? He loves ice cream. He loves ice cream. He loves ice cream.
But this looks too good to share with a dog, so I'll just keep it for myself.
And this is my culinary tip for a weekend in Florence: authentic Florentine ice cream.
Another Florentine original is the wooden puppet Pinocchio. Its creator, Carlo Collodi, was born in the city. In this shop, tourists can spend some time with the little boy who told lies and check out some other interesting accessories.
Now this is more my style.
Next up, I head to the most famous bridge in the city, the Ponte Vecchio. It dates back to the 14th century and is crammed full with small shops, mostly jewelers, in keeping with centuries-old tradition. My final destination is the Piazzale Michelangelo. From here, you have the best views of Florence.
This is my special tip for a weekend in Florence: watching the sunset over this magnificent city from the Piazzale Michelangelo. And that wraps up my tour. Join me again as I explore more exciting European destinations, and until then, it's happy travels.